Okay, we're going to call the November 18th City Council meeting in the order. Madam Clerk, pledge, please.
Roll call. Councilman Asbill.
Present.
Councilman Buddy.
Present.
Councilman Chatelain.
Present.
Councilman Johnston.
Present.
Councilman Wheeler.
Present.
Mayor Bodier.
Present.
Police Chief Walker. Absent. But we have Brian. Fire Chief St. Cyr.
Present.
Finance Director Todd Turnion.
Present.
City Attorney Scott Stansberry.
Present.
Municipal Clerk Nicole Lee.
Present.
And Deputy Clerk Carrie Eustace. Present.
All right, thank you, Deputy Clerk and Madam Clerk. Just real quick, make one quick announcement. Garbage pickup will not happen on Thanksgiving Day, and I know that seems to be a question that a lot of people are going to want to ask, but just so we know, and I'm going to repeat, garbage pickup will not happen on Thanksgiving Day. It will be the following Saturday. It will be the Saturday concurrent to the holiday.
So if
And,
your garbage pickup's on Thursday, you're
It'll
gonna
be
be
Saturday.
picked up on Saturday. So Friday's pickup will still be normal.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
Mr.
Thank you for
Mayor.
the clarification. Yes, sir.
Make a motion to amend the agenda to add
Sweet
proposed
mercy.
ordinance 2021-22 regarding municipal clerk's pay.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill to amend the agenda to add, what do you add one more time?
2021-22 to
2021-20.
ordinances for introduction.
Ordinance for introduction. We have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill to amend the agenda. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we have to bring that up for public hearing before we go to vote. Anyone come to speak about an amending the agenda? No one come to speak. We'll now close public hearing. We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Amendment is passed. Is that it? Just want to make sure. You want to work through this little presentation? You ready? We've been trying to do these monthly presentations just to keep everybody kind of up to date where we are, in the city and what's happening. So here we go. To date, the city has spent $1.5 million on debris pickup, monitoring, disposal. 90% of that will be reimbursement. Just so we want everyone to know, this isn't free. 10% of this will be covered by the city. And so we, at some point, are going to really start stressing the fact that we are in the final pass for the third time. So please, if you can, guys, get whatever you got to get done, get it out. Let's get it picked up. And let's try to see if we can have our streets clear for the holidays. That would be incredible. To date, To date, the city of Harahan has removed 34,883 metric tons of vegetative debris and has been hauled to the playground. It's 1,760 truckloads. 6,137 metric tons of construction and demolition debris has been removed, and 125 truckloads. Pickup time is complete, so please let's start to wrap this up. Okay, in Hurricane Ida, so we're going to go after some federally expedited grants called FAST, and this is a new program we just learned about this week. It is a program through FEMA called 428, and we think it could be a better fit for our community. We're actually working with the police chief on this and the playground director at the moment, and we just think it can be a better fit. And what we're going to do is, with the fire chief. I'm sorry. And the way the program works is you come in and it's one proposal, it's one shot. There's no coming back, there's no adding on any later. So it's one shot. So what we're doing right now is we're working with our engineers and trying to figure out everything that needs to be repaired within the city, or at some point even replaced, because if it's more than 50% damage, we can go and ask for replacement cost of that. We're looking at 2 buildings for sure at the moment, having replaced, and that's the gym and the fire station. They took a massive amount of destruction, and a fire station we know is a complete loss at this point for sure. The projects we're looking at are about 26 million. And this is what qualifies. We have the fire station, which we'd love to turn into an emergency operating center. We have a gym, which we would now, love to move it into the future and or the current, even, to be honest with you. And we'll have a sports performance center. We'll have a playground, which is, we're working on we really, really want turf fields because we think we can, we can make an economic driver there. And by picking up overflow just from LaSalle, and then the maintenance shed will become a facility service building. It's a lot. There's a lot of moving pieces right now, and the staff has been incredible working with me because we are literally almost changing things day by day because the programs are literally changing day by day, and as things become more available, we're definitely going to go after every opportunity that's out there. So Hurricane Ida impact, we're still on track. Largest sales tax year ever. However, we did not. We have falling off of our record-breaking months this month because we're now hitting from when the hurricane hit and everybody was closed down 3+ weeks. But we're still trying to get everything back on track. Everybody's back open again. I believe every business here is back open. So we should, in the next month, be back on track, and sales tax revenue should be back up. And that's it. Thank you. Okay, Madam Clerk.
Special presentations. Chief Walker, current state of the Harahan Police Department with Brian St. Cyr.
You want
Like
to do it
to-
now or the reports?
Okay. All right. Number
No
two.
limits play.
Here we go. It's working. Well, there we go. Okay, good evening. I'm just going to give a quick update. I know that there's been question in the community and want an update on what's going to happen at the Soniat Playground with the no limits play. So I'm going to give you the council a quick update. Thanks for letting me do this tonight in the public forum. So kind of the vision is develop an inclusive playground over at Soniat Playground, which is the main Harahan playground over by the gym. That would bring an inclusive playground for all ages, all abilities, different abilities to our area. We're looking at a project of close to $1 million. That's a daunting thing to say for Harahan for sure, but I think it's something that we can achieve and we're going to achieve by the fall of 2022. So just a little background on the organization. If you don't know, No Limits Play was kind of an idea of a couple of moms back in 2018. Melissa and Bridget were really in tune with trying to get this done, and I just happen to be the guy that's helping bring it to fruition. By then, we had a fiscal sponsor. The Harahan Athletic Association was sponsoring us as a fiscal sponsor, letting us raise money through their nonprofit status. Since then, we formed a nonprofit corporation. We've gotten our IRS 501c3 status, and we're ready to move forward with major fundraising. That's the wrong way. Let me see. Let me get this to work. Here we go. So again, it's going to be inclusive from the ground up. We're talking the surfacing, the fencing, of course the playground equipment, the restrooms that surround it. It's going to cover a wide range of sensory, physical activities, social activities to make sure everyone's included. And the cool thing about playgrounds is if you just put it out there, kids are going to play on it. You can put a box out there and they're going to play on it, right? They're going to find a way to play with it, and that's what they're going to do with this equipment. And it's going to have an advanced poured-in-place unitary surfacing, so that rubber surfacing that you have for easy access to the playground. Instead of having, we have right now, we have to step over that big curb, tramp through the mulch that we have. So we're going to do that. It exceeds ADA accessibility standards, and there's a reason for that because it also meets inclusive play standards. And just a quick down and dirty, and I'm sure Lauren's going to give you more about inclusivity here, but quick down and dirty difference between ADA accessible and inclusive play is ADA accessible is, hey, I can access it and I can be there while people play. Inclusive play is, hey, I can access it and I can be involved in the play around me. I can also play. So it's more than just rolling up a wheelchair on a ramp. It's about rolling that wheelchair up on a ramp and being able to engage in the activities. Okay, so currently, at our current playground and many playgrounds in the area, children with disabilities, people in the autism spectrum, and even older adults have trouble engaging in the play activities. We're going to hope to fix that. And there are no other playgrounds in our parish, in our region, that would compare to No Limits Play at Soniat Playground, which is why we get to that number of about 80,000 visitors annually to that playground. That is half of the population of the children of Jefferson and Orleans parishes. I think this is going to be a driver for Harahan, both economically and development-wise, as far as bringing new families to Harahan. This can be a driver to bring them to Harahan and spend their money in Harahan. This is going to benefit not only people of Harahan, but our areas around us. They're going to come to us. It's going to be a destination playground. So where are we at in our fundraising? We have pledged in hand about $380,000. Some of that sits with the Harahan Athletic Association. Some of it is from our partners that you're gonna hear from tonight. The plan is over the next few months is to continue to secure major gifts from our local businesses and outside of us. Continue to do public events like we've done in the past, the trunk or treat event and things like that bring in some dollars, and also go after some foundation grants. For example, some of our vendors here in Harahan offer foundation grants like Entergy. And capital outlay from the state is available as well. So here's our plan. Again, fundraise through the spring of 2022, begin site prep and construction in the summer of 22, and hope to have we're going to have a fall opening of next year. Our lead contractor on this and our project manager is Pelican Playgrounds. Lauren is here tonight. They are very experienced in Southeast Louisiana about building playgrounds. Her family's been in the business for a long time, and she's got a quick presentation to give as well.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Council, for letting me present tonight. To prevent myself from being too long-winded, I do have a video, so that way it'll give you an idea about what this playground's going to look like and the products that we bring. And while Jason's getting that set up, I'm just going to introduce myself a little bit. So my name is Lauren Knight. I own Pelican Playgrounds. Like Jason said, my family has been in the playground business for about 30 years. So I have been on playground builds for about 30 years. Before I started this company in Louisiana, I was a special education teacher in New Orleans. So inclusive play is very, very close to my heart. And the opportunity to do something like this in this region is incredible. You won't find anything like this nearby. So we are very excited to bring not only our construction expertise, but also inclusive play expertise. I can keep delaying.
Let me see if I can get this to work.
No worries. And I'll do, if technology doesn't work out, I do have backups. So I have physical copies if we need to do that.
It did transfer like it should have. Let's see if this works.
Should I stop walking towards the physical copies? Oh, you have some up there if you want to pass them down.
All right, let's try this. Here we go.
Aha, okay, great. Thank you.
All right, sorry, I don't know how loud this is going to be because I don't know what the volume is on the TV, so we're going to see.
And since I taught, I'm a good projector, so I can talk over the music if need be. Put on my teacher voice. So what we're looking at is a playground that's over 12,000 square feet. We've got one of our most exciting aspects are our sky towers. This is one of our new products, so you won't find this anywhere in the South yet. We have been really excited about putting this out there. The sky towers that are in our design are 22 feet high, fully enclosed, and the dueling slides, so you can race your friends and family down to the bottom, are 14 feet. We have sensory play throughout multiple levels, so from ground all the way to the top. There's musical play, there's tactile play, and it's hugely spacious. This is our Mighty Descent slide. It is also brand new. It is the biggest single-piece slide in the world. So many kids can fit on it. Families can go down together. Jason and I were joking that it's going to be like the family Christmas card backdrop of Harahan. So one of the coolest things on the playground is 100% accessible to all people, all ages. It is the Neos 360. There's actually one of these on the North Shore in Denham Springs, and it is just one of the most popular things. I drive by that playground often, and it is used constantly by mostly adults. So we have all ranges in the design of ages. So our town line is for ages 2 to 5. What's really nice about it is that it's big and small at the same time. It's perfect sized for little kids, but families and parents and caretakers can fit inside as well. We have really specialized equipment for inclusive play. So we've transformed some of our usual equipment that you remember as a child, like merry-go-rounds, to make it more inclusive and accessible for everybody. As you saw, we have our Harahan Hawk Climber. We wanted to bring something special there. Obviously, swings that caretakers and parents can engage with their children, and also accessible swings, so children with mobility issues can also participate in swinging. Our play cubes are unique. You won't find them with any other playground company. What's really nice about them is that they're unstructured. So there's no rules as to how you play with this equipment. Everybody kind of creates their own adventure. When you look at a lot of playgrounds, it's climbing up some stairs, walking across a platform, and going down a slide. So this is really different. And something that we're planning for this playground is a community build. My father has done probably over 100 of these with a nonprofit called Kaboom. And something that we're really excited about in getting the community invested is bringing the community in on the playground build. So we're really excited about that aspect of it as well. And ultimately, what we just want you to know is that we've been very thoughtful in this design. We've wanted to include all types of sensory play, types for all abilities, all ages. And this isn't just a playground for children, it's a playground for everybody, and for families, and for community members. So we're really excited. And also to mention, so our equipment partner is Playworld. All of our partners for this playground are American-based, so Playworld's in Pennsylvania. That's where my company has an exclusive partnership for our equipment. Our surfacing company partners for this project are actually based in Baton Rouge. So they're also local to Louisiana. And you'll notice in the design that there is a lot of shade. And USA Shade out of Dallas are our partners for that. So we're excited to bring an American-made playground to Harahan. What questions do you have for me? Okay, great.
Awesome.
For the community, I have business cards, so I'll leave them in the other room. You can follow us on Facebook. We'll post the video and everything, so it'd be great if you could share it and get everybody excited about this project.
Cool. Thank you so much, Warren.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We've also got a partner here that's ready to be a real good community partner with us, and it's Cornerstone Chemical Company. We have a representative here, and he wants to come up and say a few words and give his full-throated endorsement, hopefully. We'll see. Mr. Sean Ward from Cornerstone Chemical.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Mayor Baudier and members of the council for inviting us to speak tonight. On behalf of Cornerstone Chemical, my name is Sean Ward. I'm the Health, Safety, Security, Environmental, and Sustainability Corporate Director. And we are just so excited to be able to be a part of this project and fully support the all-inclusive playground in Harahan. No Limits is just awesome. I mean, that presentation said it all, and we're just really happy to be a part of this process. We're really glad that we were able to initiate the first conversation with Councilman Asbill and Play Power, and we're just so glad that this looks like it's going forward in the Harahan community. Cornerstone prioritizes being a good corporate citizen and giving back to the community. And although we're not, in the community of Harahan. We're actually located in Wagaman, Louisiana. We're all members of the Jefferson Parish family, and we're just glad to be able to support and be a good partner with the city of Harahan and the community here. We are committed to continuing that support, and we look forward to being a huge supporter of the all-inclusive No Limits Playground. So you have our full support tonight, and we thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
it.
Yeah, so I want to just really thank Cornerstone for being involved. And how this happened was I pitched it to them when we were with another playground company, and they looked at it and they knew they wanted to be involved, and they started doing their research, and they said, hey, we actually have a playground company in our portfolio of businesses. We'll really get on board if you're able to go and use that company. I said, I'm not tied to any company. If you've got a company you want to use, let's do it. And so they set me up with Play World and Lauren Knight, and we've had a lot of fun designing this with this new design, and we're excited to move forward. And I don't know, I talked to JW Colonial Group. I don't know if you want to get up and say something as well. Appreciate it.
Yep, happy to. Danny McCarron, JW Colonial, 42 Colonial. Two things. One, I'll speak not even on behalf of JW, just as a parent. And look, y'all should all be commended. A forward-thinking thing like this in Jefferson Parish to be here in Harahan is awesome. The attempt at it's awesome. The attempt at something that's the first is cool, and kudos for that. I mean, as a parent, I love the idea of my kids, although none of them are special needs kids. I love the idea of them interacting. I love the idea of them seeing that, of being a part of that, of going to a playground and, having that experience with those other kids. So, there's that on the personal side. On the JW Colonial side, we think it's a great idea. We had previously, on behalf of, when we did the ADA, made a financial contribution. We'd be more than happy to see that go to this. We think it's a great project, and I think a lot of great projects could build beyond this. So thanks for bringing it forward.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that'll end my presentation. Anybody had any questions? You know where I'm at, and you've got your pitch books there.
Just a real quick couple of comments about the ADA playground. I was in the very beginning of working with it, and there's so much technology that goes into it, just as in the plastic alone, how it doesn't affect children's hearing aids and things like that, and you don't realize what is all involved. And we had some issues trying to get it. We were working on moving the city forward, and Councilman Asbill stepped up to the plate to truly take the ball and go running with it, and it's been incredible. And to have Cornerstone and JW, be the flagship partners of the program really starts to gaslight it and really gets people to want to be involved. So, I commend the partners. Thank you so much, and thank you, Jason, for picking it up and running with it and getting it to where you got it, because it wouldn't be there without you, my brother. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk.
Approval of minutes, reading of the minutes of the council meeting on October 21st, 2021.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Bodie, second by Councilman Chatelain. We're now open for public hearing
Yay.
to dismiss with are we approving the minutes?
Dispense
No, the
with
reading.
Dispense.
The reading of the minutes, all right?
Suspension of the
To
reading.
Dispense with the reading of the minutes. And no one coming forward. Now close public hearing. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Reading is dispensed.
Approval of the minutes of the council meeting on October 21st,
Okay, we'll
2021.
now
Move
open
to
for public
approve.
hearing. If anyone who speaks about approval of the minutes. No one coming forth. We'll now close public hearing. We have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill, second by
Second.
Councilman Wheeler to approve those minutes. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Minutes are approved.
Communications, reading of the minutes of the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting on November 3rd, 2021.
Do I have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting on November 22nd, open for public hearing? No one coming forth. We'll now close public hearing. We have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Bodie. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
Approval of the minutes of the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting on November 3rd, 2021.
Okay, anyone who wants to come up and discuss the approval of the minutes? No one coming forth. We'll now close public hearing. Do I have a motion on the floor to approve the minutes of the Planning and Zoning Commission who met on November 3rd, 2021?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Asbill. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Minutes are approved.
Resolutions. Proposed resolution number 2021-13. The following resolution was offered by Councilman Asbill. A resolution of the Harahan City Council recognizing the dedicated service of Captain Leo Schultz to the City of Harahan Fire Department.
Okay, we'll open for public hearing. All right, no one coming forth? Well, no, if you want.
So I'd like to, if you don't mind, give me a few minutes to read the full resolution.
Please do.
Yes, sir.
It's a resolution of the Harahan City Council recognizing the dedicated service of Captain Leo Schultz of the Harahan Fire Department. Whereas Leo Schultz joined the ranks of the Harahan Fire Department in 1981. Whereas Schultz was promoted to fire captain after 10 years of service and served in that post for 30 years. Whereas Schultz has 40 years of uninterrupted service to the citizens and visitors of Harahan. Whereas Schultz helped train and made an impact on hundreds of fellow firefighters across the region. Whereas Schultz passed away while on duty on October 10th, 2021. Whereas Schultz leaves behind 2 daughters, 6 grandchildren, a brother, and countless other brothers and sisters of the fire service profession. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City of Harahan does express its sincere gratitude to the family and friends of Captain Leo Schultz for his commitment and dedication to the Harahan Fire Department and his selfless service in the protection of others. Mayor, if you want to do that.
So do you want to approve that resolution?
Yeah. Move for a vote.
All right, we have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Chatelain to approve that resolution. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Resolution is approved.
If I can have the family of Captain Schultz come on up, please, if you don't mind.
We've written the Schultz family with an award. It says in recognition for 40 years of commitment and dedication to the Harahan Fire Department from July 1981 to October 2021.
I meant who you were talking to, but that's okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. If y'all didn't know, Captain Schultz, he was an ornery old bird, but he always liked me, and I thought that was pretty cool. And he was always, I've heard the stories, but he has never really been that ornery to me, and so we will miss him. It's hard to lose a man on your watch, and it makes us stronger, but at the same time, it makes us to where we are missing and have lost a very dear friend. So I commend you, Chief, and your department for everything you guys do, and to have this loss I know has to be tough. It's been a challenging year, and to add this on top of it, so we know he's up there probably really being grumpy with somebody, like the old guy, get off my lawn, but I'm sure he's getting it done. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Harahan Fire Department.
And especially thank you to the family. We know what a sacrifice public servants go through with their family.
Absolutely.
And we appreciate your service to Captain Schultz while he served the city, and we really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Madam Clerk.
Proposed resolution number 2021-14. The following resolution was offered by Councilman Asbill. A resolution of the Harahan City Council authorizing the mayor to enter into an interlocal contract for cooperative purchasing with the Houston-Galveston Area Council.
Okay, so we'll now open for public hearing. Anyone want to discuss proposed resolution 2021-14? No one coming forth. Public hearing is now closed. Councilman Asbill.
This resolution authorizes the mayor, as it says, to sign an interlocal contract. This is just another option for us to purchase materials, supplies, equipment, vehicles through a interlocal government contractor that does all the public bid stuff for us. It's authorized by the Louisiana legislature and the revised statutes, and they qualify for it. It's just another option when we go to purchase. Instead of sticking with Lamasse contracts, we can go to this company. One of the benefits is that they have a flat fee on their contracts. whether you know it or not, Lamaze charges us a percentage of the contract. This company, they charge a $3,000 flat fee on the contract, whether you buy 1 truck, 10 trucks, specifically talking about the fire department, or 1 computer or 10 computers. It's a flat fee on the contract. It's not a percentage price of the contract that we pay Lamaze.
So there are no commitments, Councilman?
There are no commitments, no, sir.
So the fee structure, that's per purchase?
Per contract, yeah. So if you put 3 trucks on a contract,
You pay it,
you pay
whatever
the
that
flat
fee is?
That's right.
Thank you.
And we don't have to use it, it's just there if we want.
That's right. You don't have to use
There's
it.
another tool for us
Yeah,
to look at
just in
when we're
case.
looking to purchase big products.
From a practical matter, you would go through both contracts, get the best price.
This way, get the
But
best price.
it's for this.
Right. Wonderful.
I'm sorry, we're not going to talk in secret over here. So the question is about Article 4 regarding the term of the contract and the performance period. It's just saying that it's going to begin in this fiscal year and then carry over year to year unless it's canceled.
Yeah, the dates were just a little confusing because it says starting January 2021, ending December 2021. Well, that's all. I just wanted to make sure.
It's already happened.
Okay.
Okay.
If there's no other questions, I will move for a vote.
Now, we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill, second by,
Second?
we already opened. Second by Councilman Buddy, all in favor?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Thank you.
No, that's good.
Proposed resolution number 2021-15. The following resolution was offered by Councilman Asbill. A resolution ordering and calling a special election to be held in the city of Harahan, state of Louisiana, to authorize the levy of a sales and use tax therein, making application to the State Bond Commission and providing for other matters in connection therewith.
Okay, anyone comes forward to speak about proposed resolution 2021-15? Public hearing is now open. No one coming forth. Public hearing is now closed. Councilman Asbill?
So a couple of things on this resolution. This is a resolution to offer a sales tax on the next ballot in March, dedicated to the fire service and dedicated to running the fire department. We estimate it'll bring in about $750,000 a year. Don't ask me how those numbers came up. You'll have to ask Todd T., but he's a pretty smart guy. He tried to explain it to me and he failed, but no big deal. That's what it is. That's a conservative number, actually, what it's going to bring in. And just how we got here, right? Back in April of 2019, we had an idea to put a fee on a water bill. We had a town hall about that, and that went over real well. But I tell you what, we learned from it. What I heard from that town hall and the time leading up to it was 3 things. There were 3 groups of people, right? We need a better fire department, and I'm willing to pay for it. We need a better fire department, and I'm not willing to pay that much. We need a better fire department, and I don't want to pay for it. And I think this encapsulates all of those groups, and if you don't want to pay for it, don't shop in Harahan, I guess. Go over to Elmwood, go over to River Ridge, and do that. But this is, and we're also, kind of spreading the love here. It's not just going to be taxing on Harahan citizens. It'll help raise revenue from outsiders that are coming in to make sure their favorite businesses and restaurants are protected with fire protection. So we're looking forward to getting this on the ballot and give it to the community. I know Chief St. Cyr's got some things to say about it, so I'll turn it over to him for a minute.
Thank you. I think one of the biggest takes that we got from the town hall was that we needed to go back and relook at things and take a look at what we were planning on doing and how do we get there. We've done that for a couple of years now, as you're aware. We were going to put a 13 mil package on the ballot, and then COVID hit. And I had decided, against the will of some, and probably upset a few people, to pull that down because I didn't think that was the fair time to try to tax our people at that level. That 13 mils was going to bring in $1.2 million. So we're asking for a little bit less here, but we also are answering one of the major things that we heard from the public, and that was the people that are on fixed incomes can't afford another millage or don't want to pay. How does the elderly pay for this? This is the answer. This is not going to impact the homeowner in Harahan at all. If you shop at Dollar General or if you eat in the restaurants, well, then you're gonna pay a little bit, minimum amount. This is a no-brainer how we do fund our fire department, not at the level that we were trying to get to or that we had talked about at one point, but this is going to go a grave distance in getting us where we need to be. I think we're planning to use the money wisely. We want to increase manpower. We also want to institute a pay matrix with a calculated pay rate, something that we've needed to do. Our firemen make about 40% of what our neighboring fire departments make. We need to do better. We need to increase equipment purchases and maintenance. We'll also create a capital project fund for major purchases so that we no longer have to beg the public in fundraisers, and we no longer have to go to outside sources to fund some of the big projects that we have, like replacing air tanks or buying fire trucks. We should be able to have a fund in place that when we need to buy fire trucks, we go buy fire trucks. We need to buy vehicles, we buy vehicles. Or if we need to buy hose, breathing equipment, radio equipment, and things of such, we can just go and do it. It's how other departments around us work. They all have capital project funds in place, and we will do the same if we're fortunate enough to have this pass. We also need to fund the fire prevention programs for schools and public. That's something that we had gotten away from when our budget got hit some years ago when our surge department started kind of eating up the city's budget, and we started having to cut back and tighten the belt, and the rates went up for the retirement system. We had to start stealing from our budget in places to fund those things, and that was one of the things that got cut, and we need to get back to getting into our schools. We still go to the schools, we still talk to the kids, but we need to leave them with some paperwork that they can go home with their parents and practice exit drills in the home, or stop, drop, and roll. They need to have the little coloring book or the hat to put on their head, or a pencil to remind them down the road of the firemen that came to the firehouse. That came to the school. We also need to do the same with the public. We need to get into the gym, and instead of having a town hall meeting of how to fix the fire department, we need to do things like first aid classes and teach our public how to do CPR. And we'll be able to do those things with the funding that would come in with this package. So I look forward to selling this to the public. I look forward to selling this to you. I need your vote here tonight, but I mostly need your vote at the poll. We need to vote yes. We need to get the community behind us to vote yes and support our fire department. So,
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
So again, this is just to make our fire department more adequately funded. And one of the highlights that I heard is it's going to hopefully relieve some stress on the capital fund. If they're putting into the fire department line item in the capital fund, that's less they have to take out from the regular capital fund for that. So again, ask for your support here tonight on this resolution, and most importantly, supporting it at the booth.
And that's the main emphasis, because I heard a couple people had talked to me about just thinking that we're putting in this effect. We're not. We're just putting on the ballot for the citizens to vote for it.
correct.
So I just want to make that clear.
The only thing I gotta say is, time and time again, we've come here and we've talked, and I think that no one, and I don't know how you do it, but no one truly understands the scope of what the fire department does. Let me tell you something. We should give everybody that text message thing and watch your phones go off. These boys are moving all day, all night, lifting and assisting, medical calls, car accidents. This is unbelievable. I don't know. We're so fortunate to have a team that is so dedicated to the city that, and we just, I guess it's time to start respecting, if lack of a better word, to understand and respect what we have here, and I don't know.
Not to cut you off, Mayor, but I'm of the opinion that I think the public is behind us.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
We're out on the streets, especially during the storms and things like that, when we get to talk to a lot of the public and the community as they're out trying to get themselves back together. And I really do believe we have an overwhelming support of the community. The question has always been is, how do we pay for it? It's difficult to continue to, I don't want you to not be able to pay your taxes and have someone take your home from you. That scares the life out of me. I don't want to be that guy who does that to someone. Unfortunately, that's the business that the city is in. This doesn't put anyone in that predicament, ever.
You know,
So,
and even on top of that, look at this last hurricane that passed. People don't realize that the fire department they're first on the street. They're the first guys to get out there, the first guys to get moving to getting us back to the start of recovery. You know, they're the ones checking power lines, clearing trees, getting the roads passable so energy can come in and do what they got to do. You know, they're the ones running the show. Todd's the, you know, he's the chief when it comes in of all of the emergency management. And it's a crazy, I mean, you wear so many hats, it's unbelievable. I'm so fortunate to have you as my fire chief, and, you know, I mean, everybody should be in support of this.
we have a great department, Mayor, and this will help make us even better.
Yes.
Yeah, we're fortunate to have a really good community. Our police department helps us a lot on the streets in the storm and out there, you know, searching homes if no one's in, and we have problems with trees collapsed on them and doing all those things. We do roll constantly. We are out on the street constantly. We're constantly training. You know, I'll say it real quick. I didn't think I was going to talk about this, but we've had the fortunate event in the last couple of weeks to have a long-term City Hall employee come to work for the fire department. Ms. Rena Sanders, been here over 30 years, has seen it all in the city, has handled it all, has handled FEMA claims in the past, has addressed people at the front window, has probably heard me speak at the mic to the council more than anyone else in the city, or as much as anyone else in the city. And she still didn't understand exactly what it was that the fire department did. It's not until she came back there in the last couple of weeks that she said, Jesus, wow, I didn't realize y'all do all this stuff. And I think it was kind of an eye-opener for her. And she says, well, Chief, how do you get this message to the people? I said, well, maybe we get them all to come to work for us.
Yeah.
But
Put them on that text message.
that's not possible unless we do like a $1 sales tax, and that's not going to happen. But anyway, I mean, it took somebody that long who's been that intimately involved in pretty much all aspects of the city, including the fire department, to really see what it is that we do on a daily basis. You know, it's not just sitting around waiting for that call to come out. We're constantly preparing for that next call, whether it's through training or having our trucks ready, having our equipment ready, and having the right equipment ready. So, again, thank you. I don't want to burn up all your time tonight. I appreciate you.
I'm sorry, just one more thing, and because I know the question is, and we're going to answer this question more directly here in the next couple months before the election, is what is direct impact on me, on my pocket, right? Just generally speaking, you go out and you have dinner at Bienvenue, you pay $100 on that bill, you're going to pay an extra 8 cents to eat dinner at Bienvenue. It's less than a penny a dollar, so it really is minimal impact on the pocketbook. Thank you. Move for a vote.
Okay. I have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk?
Thank you, Council.
Proposed resolution number 2021-16. The following resolution was offered by Councilman Wheeler. A resolution giving preliminary approval to the issuance of not to exceed $2 million of hurricane recovery revenue notes of the City of Harahan, State of Louisiana, and providing for other matters in connection therewith.
You want to speak on this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can talk about it.
All right, we're going to bring up our Finance Director, Tad Tunion, just to give you a little bit of insight on why we proposed this resolution.
Good evening, Council, Mayor. Just a few brief comments on this proposed resolution. As the mayor mentioned in his opening presentation, the city has spent already $1.5 million on Hurricane Ida-related debris removal and equipment. That's cash that the city has already paid. We are projecting that the city will spend close to $2 million on the Hurricane Ida cleanup. We have some bills and payables, and certainly still some work to be done before the end of the year. So the purpose of this resolution is to provide the financing for the city, as the city is uncertain when FEMA will reimburse us for these costs. We may get some partial payments in the short term, but the likelihood is that may be a longer term process for the city to ultimately be reimbursed for these expenses. And the purpose of this financing is just to provide the operating cash flow for the city just to finance these FEMA-related Hurricane Ida purchases. So I'm happy to answer any questions that the council members have. We also have been working with bond counsel Foley Judell, and Jason is here this evening as well if the council members have any specific questions.
And this is just going to be an as-needed, correct? We're going to draw down as needed if we even need it?
So our understanding is we have the option to either draw it down or not draw it down. So we can draw it down in full at the outset, or we can draw it down as needed as the city has cash flow needs.
So I have a couple of questions. I believe there's a following proposed ordinance, which looks like we've selected a lender. Has there been any competitive requests for bids? So I'm just curious. And there's also attached to this following ordinance related to this, of course, a document which looks to be like a loan agreement. I'd like to know who prepared it.
Sure.
The source was. And between now and the next council meeting, I'd like to talk to a representative because there's a few things that I think may need to be tweaked.
Okay, sure.
So who prepared that?
So I might ask Jason from Foley Judell just to step up. He's been involved, and we've kept him informed throughout the
Okay.
process.
Either one.
Yeah, either way.
All right. Gotcha. Thank you, Mayor and council members. I'm Jason Akers with Foley Nudell. I'll echo what Todd has said so far. This is a beginning step in a process. In addition to the introduction of the ordinance, this resolution allows us to go to the State Bond Commission and get their approval, which would be required before any borrowing take place, even a short-term facility like this. Louisiana doesn't have lines of credit for public entities. It's not statutorily allowed. So we actually back into it with this note process that allows you to either draw it down at the beginning or on an as-needed basis. As noted, you're already $1.5, $1.6 million into the hole on just debris removal. So this is intended to provide you with some flexibility going forward. Today's State Bond Commission meeting had 5 different hurricane recovery related borrowings on the agenda, and all 5 were approved. There was one in October. I know of at least 2 that are coming in December, and our goal would be for you to proceed with the approval and then have the opportunity to make the decision at that point whether you intend to go forward.
I noticed in this resolution, it states an interest rate not exceeding 4%.
Yes, sir.
What is the going rate for something like this? Do you know?
The interest rates, of course, would be subject to the lender and whatever lender's chosen and whatever that lender offers. But other similarly situated entities are looking at around 3%.
Is it possible, or has the city received an estimate of the cost of this transaction?
You talking about the cost of issuance with related to the transaction?
Yeah, I know. In your or in a proposed engagement letter,
Right.
You guys talk about your fees, and then you talk about fees of other, maybe a term with
Yes.
partners, or who all's involved in a transaction like this that the city would be paying. And I understand we can use the borrowed funds to pay, but we also have to pay those borrowed funds back.
You are correct. You can use the borrowed funds to pay. The reason that we approach it this way is because we want to limit the involvement of as many outside professionals as we can to keep your costs low. We're offering a deep discount on our fee versus what the Attorney General would allow. Other than us, there's a State Bond Commission fee that's associated with it. On a transaction this side, that State Bond Commission fee is roughly $1,500. The lender who is selected may require its own counsel. We don't think that they will. Whoever's selected, usually with transactions like these, that's not necessary, but the lender may require its counsel, and that would be a cost you would have to pay. We're estimating right now that your total transaction costs would be less than 1% of the total amount of the loan, so under $20,000. I am not your FEMA consultant. I'm not your IDA recovery consultant. I can tell you that other public bodies I'm working with have confirmed with their own FEMA consultants that would be a reimbursable cost as well from FEMA. It would be a cost that you're able to include for reimbursement. So, our goal throughout this entire process is to provide you a functional credit facility that would keep your costs low and keep your effort to a minimum as well.
So this resolution allows the mayor to go to the bond commission and request approval to borrow these funds. Is that right?
That's right.
generally? Okay.
Yes.
Is it right to say that this resolution does not authorize the mayor to actually go out and borrow the funds? It's just to explore the option with the bond commission?
That's correct. The ordinance that's being introduced is, and would be before you again in December, would be that vehicle.
Perfect. And Todd, the bills that have come in so far on IDA-related cover, they've been paid, is that right?
Yes,
Okay. and-
substantially, yes.
and
We
how
have
have-
paid approximately 1.5 million.
Okay. And does the city have a cash issue at this time?
No. So just to clarify that the city has cash in the general fund, but the city does not have unlimited cash. Right. So, so that's really what the purpose of this financing agreement is.
So as I'm looking at this, it's like a line of credit.
Correct.
It's not a loan, but it could be. It gives us the option, if a lender signs it, to borrow up to $2 million in the next 12 months and then pay it back over as long as a 9-year period.
12 to 24 months,
Okay, 12.
8 to 9, yes.
Right. So
you're doing it basically to have the money there. We're not at a cash strap now, but what if we have another major catastrophe?
We don't know.
In the beginning of the next
It's just an
hurricane
option.
season, before FEMA releases funds back to us for reimbursements, we'd be in a cash strap situation.
And I want to pose this as a question I believe I know the answer to. The plan, what is the planned source of funds to repay the loan?
FEMA reimbursement.
Right.
I want the public to know that it's anticipated that the majority, if not all, of the funds the city expended for Hurricane Ida will be reimbursed by FEMA, but it could be a 2, 3, 4-year period.
Right. I was going to ask Tom, did we just get money for Katrina?
We recently got a few $1,000s from Katrina, Gustav, or one of the
Takes a while.
hurricanes from a decade ago.
And I do believe
Correct.
all our stuff has been approved for Zeta. I believe we're getting a little bit over 100 and some change for Zeta. I don't know if that money has landed yet.
We have not, to my knowledge, landed any of the FEMA funds from Hurricane
From
Zeta,
I know
which was a year ago.
Real far along in the process, should be fairly soon. So Tom, when we started talking about this, you and I, you always make me try to think ahead, financially where we are. Can we handle, if something else happens? So when we had this idea, we started talking about the bond, how the conversation got started is that there's only 2 years left, 2 payments left in this bond. And my question was, how can we pay? I want to pay this off early. The Iberia Bank's in play right now. Another bank is coming in, Blue Star, something like that. So it just started raising a lot of questions, and I want to understand how bonds work. And crazy part is, for the past 10 years, this bond is just, or longer, has just been open and just paying the interest and paying the interest. I don't get it, but I didn't make the decision. So I want the bond clear. We get this bond cleared out, and then now this gives us a new avenue to go after a different funding source if we ever need it. Then it also establishes a future relationship with whoever we make.
Now, these monies can only be used for hurricane expenses. This $2 million can only be used to pay, and it can reimburse the city.
That's correct.
For expenses.
That's right.
That is correct.
You can't use this money to pay off that existing bond.
Correct. And look.
Very good.
Don't get me going on that, because I wish.
I just wanted you to make sure you understood. I thought you did, but I wasn't sure, Mayor.
Oh, I wish I could. But so I'm just trying to make sure we have a parachute. Basically, that's it.
And it's obviously it's not my job to convince you what to do. I think you have a much better handle on it than I ever will. In our other clients that we're working with, what they're looking at is, we can either expend our fund balance now, as you've already expended a significant portion of it, or we can kick that can down the road for 2 years and know that we can make a choice 2 years down the road. If we haven't gotten FEMA reimbursements in, which we don't think will happen, but if we haven't gotten FEMA reimbursements in, we can make a decision at that point. What do we do with it? Do we spend our fund balance at that point to pay it off, and then we take the risk of the FEMA reimbursements ourselves? Or do we amortize it at that point and then pay it off over whatever term is left? Our intention with the ordinance that you'll see when it's final is that it's going to permit you to prepay at any time without penalty. In my conversation with the mayor, I know he's a big fan of that strategy.
I wanted no prepayment penalty. That was the rule.
So that's our goal. And then, as I said, with your permission via the resolution, we'll start on that process and come back to you with a more firm proposal at your December meeting.
Thank you.
Move for the vote.
Thank you.
Okay, we have the following ordinance was sponsored by Councilman Wheeler. We have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Resolution is passed. Thank you, Council.
Thank you.
Thanks, Todd and Jason. Appreciate it.
Ordinances for approval. Proposed ordinance number 2021-16. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain and seconded by Councilman
Second.
Asbill. An ordinance approving the conditional re-subdivision plat of Lot A2B1, Stoniat or Tchoupitoulas Plantation Subdivision, City of Harahan, Parish of Jefferson, State of Louisiana, into Lot A2B1A, Stoniat or Tchoupitoulas Plantation Subdivision, and lots 14 through 23, Colonial Place, Phase 1, all pursuant to a plan made by Ronald Clement, PLS, dated September 16, 2021.
Move to suspend the rules. Can we go ahead and take up the amendments, City Attorney? Can we go ahead and take up the amendments now and get those out there before we open up public hearing, so we don't have to do it twice? Okay. Perfect. So, Councilman Chatelain, this is his ordinance, but he forgot his glasses tonight, so he asked me to go over the amendments for him. So I'm going to take care of that for him. So there's a few amendments. You should have a red line copy somewhere down there. If you want to follow along, give you a second to find that. I don't know what the other one is.
That's the same thing, I believe, just without the redlining. The redlining shows the changes, correct? You know how that works?
Got it.
Yes.
Got it.
So the scratch out means it's deletion?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I know what the red one was. I didn't know what this one was.
I think it's the same.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
this one without the red lines.
So our first change is actually not redlined, but it is on line 8 in the title. That should say Lot A2B1B, not A2B1A. Let's see. Line 27, change 40 to 45, so that's a 45-foot front setback. Line 32, there's a reference to ordinance 1777. We're changing that to ordinance number 1920. And we're striking the words development agreement for retail shopping center and additional acreage within the city of Harahan, quote unquote, the development agreement, and amending those with the words, quote, the amended and restated development agreement for the residential and commercial development of the former Colonial Golf and Country Club, the amended redevelopment agreement. Line 44, changing the number 5 to 6, and changing number 14 to 13. At line 47, we're adding an entire whereas paragraph. It reads, whereas the developer has now requested that the sidewalks for lots 1 through 13 Colonial Place Phase 1 be further reduced to 5 feet to conform with lots 14 through 23 proposed herein, and that the entirety of such sidewalks may be located within the public right-of-way as permitted by sections 14-311 and 86-36 of the Harahan Code of Ordinances, and. Line 64, again, changing the number 40 to 45. Lot 69, again, changing 1777 to 1920 and adding the word amended before development agreement. Line 90, changing the number 1777 to 1920, adding amended before development agreement. And again on 91, adding amended before development agreement. Line 101, adding amended before development agreement. Beginning on lines 108 through, we are striking the words is hereby modified and amended to provide that the sidewalk width for lots 1 through 8 Colonial Place Phase 1 B, and is hereby reduced to 6 feet to confirm with lots 14 through 23 created herein, eliminating those words and replacing them with, and which sidewalk was reduced to a 6-foot sidewalk as established by ordinance number 1921, adopted June 29, 2021, approving the subdivision of lots 9 through 13, Colonial Place, Phase 1, and such ordinances are hereby further modified and amended to provide that the sidewalk with width for lots 1 through 8, Colonial Place, Phase 1, and lots 9 through 13, Colonial Place, Phase 1B, and are hereby reduced to 5 feet to conform with lots 14 to 23 created herein. We're adding section 9 on line 117. It reads, therefore, the sidewalks for lots 1 through 23, Colonial Place, Phase 1, shall be 5 feet and may be located within the public right-of-way as permitted by sections 14-311 and 86-36 of the Harahan Code of Ordinances. Those are the amendments. Move to adopt in globo. Move to open the public hearing on the amendments.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Azil to move for public hearing on the amendments of proposed ordinance 2021-16. Anyone will come to speak forth on proposed amendments? No one coming to speak forth. Public hearing is now closed. All right, do y'all want to get into some council discussion?
Yeah, so I've got a question for, I guess, the developer, since they're the professionals that are here. And this question came up. Seems like we're reducing the sidewalks from 10 to 6 to 5. Just to be sure, 5 is still within the code of ordinances for Harahan, is that right?
Yes, 5 foot would still exceed the code.
Perfect.
Danny, if you stay, Councilman Asbill, you finish?
Yes, sir. I'm
I'm just curious. I'm not opposed to reducing the sidewalk. I'm just curious what the
Thought is,
process was.
yeah. It is to get it between, to not have to cut the trees, is ultimately
Okay.
what it's about, is, that's it. It's,
And one other question of just interest. We say that in line 118 on the red line copy, that the sidewalk may be located within the public right-of-way. So as I understand that, that's off of the individual's property, off of the lot.
Correct,
As it is
so-
in many houses. I mean, my house, the sidewalk is not on my property.
Right, so this would now correctly align it with what the Code of Ordinances calls for, which is 1 foot within the, outside of the
Okay.
owner's property. Yes, sir.
I have a couple other questions, but they don't relate to the amendment.
Okay.
But thank you for that
Yes, sir.
information.
All right, I move to adopt the amendments in globo.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor by
Second.
Councilman Asbill to adopt the amendments in globo. Do I have a second? Second by
Audie,
Councilman
yeah.
Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
All right, 5 yeas, 0 nays. Amendments have been accepted.
Move to open a public hearing on the ordinance as amended.
All right, we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill, open for public hearing. On ordinance, proposed ordinance 2021-16. With a second by Councilman Asbill. Public hearing is now open. Anyone want to come speak on this ordinance, please come forth.
Mr. Mayor, Council, thanks for allowing me to be here. Danny McCarron, 42 Colonial. So before I go over the ordinance, let me just, we haven't been face-to-face for a while, so a quick update out there. So we completed the build of that first house out there. Had a great, seems like it was a decade ago, but had a great parade of homes showing. I think we had something like 800 unique showings. We also completed the sale of that. First sale over, I think over $1 million in Harahan, should be the highest sale in Harahan. Also the highest per square foot sale in Harahan. So, you know, from where I stand, those are good things.
Congratulations on that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Which brings me to point B. Thank y'all for that. Congratulations to y'all. And I'm sincere when I say this. I think everybody on this council, I think I saw Maurizio here earlier, the Planning and Zoning Board, I think it's, we've taken some refreshing steps, I think, over the past year that all kind of culminate in that successful moment. And so look, those lots are sold now. You see you have, I think there's 2 more started, what I call organic residents. They're building their own homes, thank Lord. And then I believe there's well, I shouldn't speak out of turn, but I think there actually may be even another set in City Hall yet for P&Z. So, I mean, it's moving. There's some movement. And so I'm sincere when I say that. I want to thank y'all. I think it's good for us, sure. It's good for the city. I think it's moving in the right direction. And to that point, what we're here tonight is to ask for a conditional on these next 10 lots. And which would be lots 14 to 23. And I do want to take a moment to point out that although that basically they're large lots is what I'm getting at here. We're still, although we would be allowed whatever frontage, 60, 70 foot on those, all of these are averaging closer to between 90 and 100 foot. The total square footage of them, I believe, would exceed what would be required there by 200%. You know, I think what you see as a result of that is a larger lot, a larger home site, more expensive home site. And it's worth pointing out, too, that if you do a count, which I don't have the exact number here, but if you count from the beginning of Jefferson Highway coming down Colonial, you'll see almost lot for lot. So although the lot numbers the lots may not line up correctly, you'll essentially see tit for tat on the count there. The only other thing to bring up to speed from the last one is that we have made the $450,000 payment towards advanced impact fees. And so with all that said, I'm here tonight as a representative of Colonial to ask for the conditional format of these. We have Miss Ashley Rue here tonight. So Scott Tabery from Duplantis Design Group is they're in the hospital, hoping to have their second child sometime the next day or two. So Ashley's here to speak on Duplantis' behalf and to give that presentation. And of course, I'm here to answer any questions after that. The only other point I would like to make, I made it last time, so I'll make it again, is don't read into the fact Mr. Suffren's absence that he's no longer on our team. He's very much on our team, still very much a you know, we still call on him. Y'all can still call on him. I think in taking a step back after having completed the ADA and thinking where we are in this space, is it really necessary to have an attorney make these sort of applications? And so, you know, we arrived at this position that probably not. So we're giving this a go. So thanks, y'all.
I'm just here basically to ask, to answer any questions that you have regarding the sewer installation for these lots. If anybody has anything.
And there's a, so there's a new plan for the sewer, right? As far as the property as a whole, you're adding additional lift stations. Can
That's
you just kind of
correct.
go over that a little bit?
Yes, so we're going to be adding sewer line all the way down to the end of Colonial to handle all of those lots. But there's going to be a new sewer lift station, and that's going to be right, I think, at lot 9. Okay. Lot 9, and then we're going to be tying back in to the lift station that was previously constructed at the front of the property. So that's kind of where we're at with that.
1 through 6, or might even be 1 through 14. I'm not sure. That sewer line runs in the back of those properties. Are we bringing it to the front at some point?
Yes, that's correct. So with the new lift station at lot 9, we're going to be coming down and providing sewer along the front of the property there.
Gotcha.
So I just want to make sure that I say thank you to Mr. McCarron for listening to my advice and adding a new lift station. We went through several studies on trying to figure out how to make this work. And so, thank you.
No, that's actually worth coming on. We did explore, we did explore the idea, and I think that was wise on here. I like the idea that we're working through this now, right? In other words, all right, we're fixing to do these next 10 lots here, and then plus 4, which will be once it's determined that definitively that term doesn't have to go in there, we'll do these next 4. And look, there's a cost associated with putting that in right now, and I think we worked together and said, look, before we spend X, does the city want to consider X of improvements here? We looked at that, we did a study, It turned out probably not the most, it's probably not in anybody's interest to do that. It's maybe putting a Band-Aid on something. And yeah, look, I'm happy that we took the time to look through that and determine that's not the way to go. And yeah, and we did it efficiently, right?
Yes, sir.
That's the important part. We got into it, and no, it was good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a couple of questions, and they relate to the Myers review of the request. And they cover sewer and drainage. And you may have already addressed it. I apologize. I could not, even with a magnifying glass, read the notes and the dimensions and all. So I have to ask you folks. Myers' comment in their report to the city was preliminary plat, sheet 2, utility note 3 states that each lot shall tie into the sewer line at the rear of the lots in the new 20-foot utility servitude created by this plat. Is that what you're still envisioning? Where is the sewer line for these properties? And is it reflected on the plat, whatever your new plan is?
Yeah, it's up front. Go ahead.
So the ones from lots 1 through 9 is at the back, but all of the new ones that we're proposing are going to be at the front of the property.
So 10 through 23 will be at the front.
Correct.
And that is that reflected on the plat plan submitted to the city?
Yes, sir.
And to planning and zoning? Fantastic. In the front.
You got something else, Mr. Bennett? Danny, if you don't mind just discussing why you stopped at 23 and
Sure.
didn't plan it out all the way down.
Yeah,
There's something up there. I know there's something up there. I just
right. No, the intention is to move forward with 4 more lots up to the end of the property, which would be approximately the location of the entrance of the former club. The reason in not asking for those at this time is that the traffic study is not complete. Thereby, we should not be presumptuous in assuming that it's not going to tell us to go out of Colonial. Although, it's not going to tell us to go out of Colonial. I feel pretty good saying that, but that's it. That's really, so there's no, as a matter of fact, and of course, Mr. Cameron, put it there for a minute, is, so on the other side of this, I sort of put what is the envision is to come out and then have the exit out on Club Drive. That's it. That's, I'm hoping that the traffic study gets completed in short order, which of course ties into the inside, and one thing leads to the next, because I have a feeling all of these are going to be sold almost immediately, and of course, then I'm looking for more product. So that's the reason.
Thank you. And just on a presentation note, can we start getting those files electronically so we can put them on the screen so that they can get them on the camera there?
Let's get them on a record of saying yes.
Yes, I'll get that for you.
Perfect. Thank you.
And one other question, and it regards drainage, and this is Myers' question. Will front yard drains be required along Colonial as were needed in the previous phase to address the low area adjacent to the roadway?
So the answer is yes. It is worth, there's some color to be added there, which is with each individual home site request, they are, the city is generally requesting them to add a catch basin in there to deal just with their property. So that same, to be clear, that same line does extend the rest of the way Colonial with grates already in place. However, I would expect and welcome that same treatment for each of these, especially in light of the fact they're larger lots.
And I have one other general question. I know we've made, we've amended the proposed ordinance to reduce the sidewalks, and that, I believe, might have been, that was an amendment to the amended and restated development agreement. Are there any other amendments to the restated and development agreement other than sidewalks that are addressed in here to the development agreement itself?
Not to my knowledge, no.
No, not to my knowledge. There are none other. I'm actually,
Yeah, I'm not even sure the
I'm not even sure
sidewalks-
the sidewalk, the 6 foot it would be actually, but I don't know enough either way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so,
Move to a vote.
all right, so we'll now close public hearing. Oh, nope, Mauricio wants to.
Move to close public hearing.
Excuse me, I'm representing here. Yeah, I couldn't participate last week in the vote. I was out of town. But it's nice to see the project moving along with the conditional approval of it. I was trying to read it, but it's kind of hard looking at a phone, and I'm several thousand miles away. But one question I have is the electrical. Is that going to still be on poles in that at the back of the properties, or are they going to be buried?
So with regards to the electrical, it's anticipated it'll be in the front of the properties underground. So we'll have the pedestals. Yeah.
Danny, will it tie into the electricals that ran it on a pole, then you're going to take them underground to the street and then run them south?
Yes, sir. So the anticipation right now is literally Lot 9 will be giving up a servitude to extend that down to the front and then south.
Okay, cool. That was just one of my concerns. I just couldn't address it at the time. I just wanted to add, because we're still in the conditional phase. Obviously, things can change.
As
'Cause-
is, the
yeah.
anticipation is communication to be up front
Right.
as well. So to essentially eliminate the rear, which is,
And you're still working on getting those that are already on a pole, off the pole, is that
I
right?
would love to get those underground.
Okay.
But to that point, the real goal here is to be a little forward thinking and to not have anything on the rear, right? Future access, cleanup, whatever it may be, all along the front.
Yeah, that was my only concern. But to address it now, as the project moves along. But I had emailed Nate, and he said I tried to get an update, and everything went well with the with our planning and zoning board meeting. So I would ask that y'all approve this, and so we can move along to the next phase and continue with this project moving forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, no one else coming forward. We'll now close the public hearing. We have a motion on the floor by Councilman Chatelain, second by Councilman Asbill to approve 2021-16 as amended. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. It is approved. Thank you.
Ordinances for introduction. Proposed ordinance number 2021-17. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Wheeler. An ordinance amending ordinance number 1909, the annual budget of revenues and expenditures for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2021 for the city of Harahan, Louisiana. Proposed ordinance number 2021-18. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Wheeler. An ordinance adopting the annual budget of revenue and expenditures for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2022 for the city of Harahan, Louisiana. Proposed ordinance number 2021-19. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman
Harry.
Chatelain. An ordinance providing for the creation of a new accrued liabilities, go back. An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Harahan to execute an agreement with the Board of Trustees of the Municipal Employees Retirement System. Proposed ordinance number 2021-20. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill. An ordinance providing for the creation of a new accrued liabilities committed fund balance within the general fund of the City of Harahan budget and providing for the funding and policies of the fund. Proposed ordinance number 2021-21. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain. An ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale of not exceeding $2 million of hurricane recovery revenue notes of the City of Harahan, State of Louisiana, and providing for other matters in connection therewith. Old business. No old business.
Oh, you had the added proposed ordinance 2021-22.
Oh,
Okay, old business, proposed ordinance number 2021-20.
Ordinance for introduction. Yeah, it was added.
Oh. Okay, proposed ordinance number 2021-22. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill. Okay. An ordinance providing that the Harahan Municipal Code be supplemented to fix the amount of compensation of the municipal officer of the City of Harahan as required by LRS 33381A. Now I move on. All right. Old business. No old business. New business. New business number 1. Todd Turnion, Finance Director. Monthly financials with budget to actual comparisons.
Good evening again, Mayor, Council. Just a brief update on the city's financial condition. We have been working on the proposed 2021 budget amendment, and we provided a copy of that to you. As the mayor mentioned in his presentation, sales tax revenue for the last month was down as it was impacted by Hurricane Ida. Hopefully, we'll continue to see that increase again in the following month. That typically comes out on the 14th of each month, so we watch for that email and the ACH on the following day. On the expense side, the city certainly has some expenses that have been over budget year to date, some expenses under budget. Same on the department side, on the individual department side. But the amended budget that we have provided you includes our estimates for where we project the city to end up at the end of the year at December 31st, 2021. And we currently project that the city will have a deficit at the end of this year, but the deficit is primarily due to the FEMA expenditures related to the Hurricane Ida cleanup. So absent those expenses, we would have a balanced budget or a slight surplus for this year. Of course, that's what we project as of today. We still have 45 days, and then we'll work through the year-end close process. So that's where we are. Happy to answer any questions that the council members may have.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I'm gonna, if you don't mind, move to amend the agenda to add new business number 6, a discussion regarding the, what do you call it? The Appeals Board membership.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill to add new business number 6, the discussion of the Appeals Board. All in favor? Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, I have a second by Councilman Buddy. We'll now public hearing. Anyone want to come forth can speak about the Appeals Board. No one coming forth. We'll now close public hearing. All in favor?
Yeah.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Number 6 is now added. Madam Clerk?
New business number 2, 2022 holidays.
All right, we'll now open for public hearing. Anyone want to come speak forth about the 2022 holidays? No one coming forth. We'll now close public hearing.
I have a question. Is this the same number of holidays we had in previous years?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. 14 holidays. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Yeah, it's 13.
Can we add holidays?
I want to add something. 15 holidays?
Thinking we add,
So we're 13?
13 holidays.
Okay, so yeah, so it's 13 holidays, same as last year. Okay, we have
No, he said 14. We're gonna do another holiday, which I want.
my birthday. Look, we're gonna call that.
all right, move to approve.
All right, motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnson to approve. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5
One
yeas,
day.
0 nays. Holidays are approved. Thank you. And I'm not taking no nays on that. 5 yeas, 0 nays.
New business number 3, 2022 council meeting dates.
Okay, we're now open for public hearing. Anyone want to discuss the council meeting dates? No one coming forth. We'll now close public hearing. Can I have a motion to approve?
Yeah,
Motion
motion.
by Councilman
These
Wheeler.
are all the third Thursday of the,
Yep.
Thank
So we have a motion by Councilman Wheeler, second by Councilman Buddy. All in favor?
Yeah, yeah.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Council meeting dates are approved.
New business number 4, call for a special meeting for 2022 budget hearing on Monday, December 6th, 2021 at 6 p.m. and waive notice of meeting.
Okay, we're now open for public hearing. Anyone want to discuss the special meeting for December 6th? No one coming forth. We'll now close public hearing. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Councilman John?
can I just double check my calendar, please?
Sure.
Thank you. If I can get my fingers to work. Number 6. I think I already have that in here.
Sorry, you already got booked in.
Monday before
No,
the Christmas break.
I don't, but I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good with it. Thank you.
You good on that date, Mr. Thomas?
I am. Thank you.
Okay, so I have a motion to
Motion.
approve by Councilman Johnston, second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. We will meet on December the 6th, 2021 at 6 p.m. to discuss the budget. Madam Clerk?
New business number 5, request from St. Rita for the city to provide barricades and/or a police escort for a Eucharistic procession from the Colonial Clubhouse to St. Rita Church. The procession is tentatively scheduled for Sunday, November 21st, 2021, or Sunday, November 28th, 2021, after 11:30 a.m. Mass, depending upon the repair status of St. Rita Church. Miss Judy Roman called today to let us know that the procession will be on Sunday, the 21st.
Yep, church is back. Brian, all good with the police?
So I got a question on this.
I got a question too.
We have the police that can support this?
What about COVID? We providing police to escort. This is a small parade.
They're gonna be in their cars, they're not gonna be doing ground control, they're not gonna be working out around cars, doing escort.
Good luck.
Okay, so we have we're open for public hearing. No one coming forth. We'll now close public hearing. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Buddy. All in favor?
Yeah.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays is approved. Thank you.
New business number 6.
Oh, Appeals Board, number 6.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Appeals board discussion.
I'm sorry. I'm
Jeez.
all over the place, so I apologize.
Give her some credit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, so I wanted to bring this up to you
My
guys.
apologies.
I
My apologies.
got a weird email last night from one of our appeals board members. I think we all got it, from Paul Jouet, asking if the meeting was still on at like 7:02. And that's because he was sitting in here by himself for an appeals board meeting. And it's not the first time this has happened. So I asked the clerk and the regulatory clerk to get together some stuff for me. And it looks like, look, we really appreciate any service that anybody can give to the city. We really do. But for this board in particular, we don't ask them to do a lot. In fact, they don't have a meeting every month. They don't even have a regular meeting. Looks like they had a meeting in January of 2021, in June of 2021. There were no meetings in 2020, and there was one meeting in 2019, and there was supposed to be a meeting last night. January of 20th, the chairman of the board, Richard Kiddock, canceled it because he stated he wasn't notified, but in fact he was, because it was sent out by email. June 23rd, 2 members showed up, Mr. Jouet and Mr. Kiddock. September of 2019, Mr. Kiddock, Mr. Crochet, and Mr. Jouet showed up. When they don't have a quorum, it's preventing them from doing business, and that's the city's business. And like I said, we appreciate all the service they can give, but at some point, we got to start replacing some of these members so that we can actually conduct city business, because there was an issue on the agenda last night that wasn't able to conclude because there was no quorum to have the meeting. So I just wanted to put that in your mind for next month. I'm going to be asking for some dismissals, for new appointments. I encourage you to look at the Harahan Code of Ordinances, Division 11, Board of Standards and Appeals, Section 14351 through, there's a bunch of them, attendance requirements, membership requirements. And look, it may be hard to have these membership requirements. Apparently, they have to be Harahan residents and they have to be a registered civil engineer or a registered electrical engineer or mechanical engineer or a licensed general contractor. So it may be hard to meet those requirements, but we need to do the best we can to have an appeals board so that we can hear these matters for the city.
And so that being said, anyone who would be interested, please notify me at City Hall or any of us at City Hall because we'd love to have you.
Councilman Asbill, the third name, or you read three names?
Crochet.
Crochet.
Yeah, so there's 7 members, and one of them shows up all the time. The chairman shows up sometimes and cancels sometimes, and then another member showed up once in the past 3 years. So it's unfortunate.
Yep, it's that time. Madam Clerk, address the council.
Address the council.
Anybody?
All right, no one coming forth to address the council. We'll now close address the council. Secretary's report.
Secretary's report for October 2021. Total revenues, $448,016. Reports.
Brian St. Chief Walker is not in attendance tonight, so Brian St. Cyr, Assistant Chief.
Good evening. All right, Chief wanted me to mention he's still recovering from his knee replacement. He's thanking everybody that has been calling and sending him emails and cards, wishing him well in a speedy recovery. He's going through physical therapy with his knee. I'm ready to run around with him and see if we can put that knee to a test, get out and chase somebody. And he wanted to wish everybody a happy and safe Thanksgiving. In addition, he wanted me to mention the Lions Club asked him to let everybody know that December 11th and 12th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., they're going to have a craft show at the Lions Club on Hickory Avenue. They're going to have over 40 vendors with a lot of Christmas stuff. So it's a nice deal. I've been before. Everybody show up. Report for October. Number of calls for service, 737. There were 14 accidents, 120 citations with 202 charges, and 6 patrol requests. There were 11 narcotics arrests with 13 charges. 7 of those were felonies, 2 were misdemeanors, 4 were city. There were 43 other arrests, and the charges, there were 82. 24 felonies, 36 misdemeanors, 15 city, 7 traffic. No murders, no rapes, no robberies, no burglaries, no attempted burglaries, no vehicle theft or attempted vehicle thefts. We had 4 petty larceny thefts and 10 assaults. Chief wanted me to read a letter about the Christmas parade, the police department Christmas parade. It is with deep regret that the Harahan Police Department has to cancel a 2021 Christmas parade put on annually by the Harahan Police Department. This event has been a longstanding tradition for the Harahan Police Department, and our officers and volunteers greatly enjoy organizing and parading through the city. However, due to COVID concerns and the highly virulent strain that has already hit our department this year, I made the decision to cancel the parade for 2021. Your Harahan police officers put their lives on the line every day to protect the citizens of Harahan. I am proud of the job that they do daily. They are the reason that our department has been consistently recognized as the safest city in Louisiana on the top 2 for the last 7 years. Given the challenges our officers face this year with multiple rounds of COVID running through the department and officers unable to work on their own damaged homes due to working 7 days a week for quite a while after Hurricane Ida, the decision was a tough one, but a necessary one to preserve and safeguard our ability to carry out our #1 mission, protecting the citizens of Harahan. We look forward to announcing when the parade will take place next year. On a positive note, we will still conduct our department-sponsored toy run, and this year we will include a drive-by Santa for all neighborhoods. We'll make the announcement of the date within 2 weeks. Wishing all a safe and Merry Christmas, Chief Tim Walker.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I address something, Brian? Since the chief is not here, I guess you're the speaker. So we can't have the Christmas parade, but the department's still going to participate in their toy drive.
Yes, same thing.
So,
The
okay,
officers aren't
okay,
working
wait.
crowd control, and
Okay, wait,
they're
just-
going to be in a car doing drive-bys, like we've been doing all COVID.
Okay. So we had a parade in May, which it seemed to be very successful. My understanding is that it appears that some officers may have contracted COVID, or it's the understanding that the parade may have caused them to contract COVID, is what I was
I
told.
don't think anybody said that.
Oh,
No,
yes,
that was
yes,
said
yes, yes,
yesterday
yes.
by the chief, and I wish he was here, and I just find it funny that he's not here, but that's okay. I wish him his recovery.
No, I was in a meeting, and
No, but there was
correct
another-
that. What we said was after the
Wait,
parade,
there was
we
another
started
meeting
in
last night
June
that
and
you-
July and August. We had COVID.
After the parade, officers contracted COVID.
No.
I'm going to tell you that's what was said in the meeting that I participated in yesterday.
Okay,
I was
that's
not
fine.
privy to the meeting that was held prior to.
Okay.
What was said was there were officers, and the quote was a majority. Well, the majority to me is more than 50%. That there were officers that the understanding is may have contracted it from the parade and then affected y'all's department. Well, I explained to Chief, an officer can contract COVID at a barbecue at a family.
Sure.
He can contract it and he walks in the grocery store.
Sure.
Everybody has the potential to contract COVID on a daily basis.
Sure.
Okay? I was kind of shocked to hear that the department had over a majority, that it hit the department that highly, that it affected that many people, that he even said that some shifts were shortened because people were out. I was surprised to know that that wasn't shared with this administration. If it affected the department that much, then in my opinion, that department should have been shut down because what if visitors were walking in? I don't understand. The parade is not going to be on the scale that it was for Memorial Day. I don't know about y'all, I heard nothing but positivity about what happened on Memorial Day. If we're talking from Horde to Folse, what, a couple of hours? It's very difficult for me to understand why the department cannot participate in this. I'm sorry, I'm not buying COVID as an excuse. That's just me, I'm only speaking for myself.
Okay.
These officers can contract it if they pull somebody over for a speeding ticket. Y'all could potentially, it's just out there. It's everywhere. It's time to move on. It was also offered to the chief or asked, is there any other way we could possibly do this? What if we brought in an outside agency? If you're choosing to not have your department to provide the security, could we obtain security from a different agency? Kenner, Westwego, Gretna, whatever. We were informed that the chief had to grant approval to allow another agency to come in. Just so you know, the chief denied that approval,
Kenner offered 25 officers.
and he denied it.
That's interesting because earlier this year for the parade, we had one Kenner officer. There were a number of departments that committed a great deal of officers, and we didn't get anywhere near what was committed. So ultimately, we were robbing Peter to pay Paul for that parade. We gladly participated in that parade, enthusiastically participated in that parade.
Agree, y'all did.
Okay.
Agree.
Okay. And after that, in June and July and August, we got hit pretty hard with COVID. And was it
And
the
y'all believe
majority
it was
at
from the
any one
parade?
time? We had, no, we did not say it was from the parade.
Oh, well,
As
that's
a matter of
what was-
fact, when I was in the meeting, I specifically said, I don't think it's related to the parade.
Okay, well-
I said that, I said it time and time again. Nobody that I have ever heard has said they think it's related to that. That's immaterial.
Sure.
To us, we have to look, we provided officers for Halloween because those people are coming. It's a security problem. Our officers go into buildings with guys with guns. We pull people over. We just had one a little while ago with a guy with a gun. Got to take him out of his car. We do that every day. We put our lives on the line every day. These guys do that multiple times a day. So are we afraid? No. But we have to make smart decisions. When our guys start getting sick from a virus that's out there and the Delta variant is very virulent, why would we put our officers in a position where we're going to lose some of them, for them to be out and inhibit our ability to protect the people of the city? Not for an elective event, right? Halloween happens. They're coming. So we're not going to not send people. They're coming. We did it. Were our guys happy? No, they weren't. We had very low participation from our volunteers. We had very few volunteers. The city doesn't put money in our budget for overtime for the Halloween thing. We've been working it with volunteers. But our volunteers are struggling now because if they get sick working these crowds, they can't put food on their families' tables. These guys volunteer their times for the city, and they've been there for us through every event, through St. Rita, through the parades, through the other things. We've been asking them for years to do it, and they give a lot to the city.
Okay.
But we can't expect them to go out and put themselves in jeopardy of not being able to feed their family. They have to take
But you're
care
going
of
to
their...
put them in jeopardy for a potential toy run.
No, because they're going to be in a vehicle.
So
They're
who's
not-
going to get out and hand the kids their gift?
We have volunteers who aren't police officers who are doing that. We have non-police officers. We won't, if those people are getting out and handing the toys to people and they get sick, it doesn't affect our ability to put people on the street.
What if they sick and they carry it to the kids, to the families?
It's,
I mean, we could go on and on. I mean, we could go for days, you know, but also we're going to
are
provide.
you asking us to cancel a toy run?
We're also going to provide police officers for this procession from St. Rita, from
Yes.
the clubhouse
Yes.
to the church.
They're going to be in their vehicle.
And trust me, I'm all for that.
They're gonna be in their
I just
vehicle.
don't understand why we're being selective. I mean, it just feels like we're absent-minded. What's the reason?
Okay,
COVID can't be the reason.
Have we canceled?
Councilman?
Have we canceled outside
Have you
police
worked a
details?
parade before as a police officer?
I've never worked a parade in my life.
Okay, so what you do is, during the parades, if you see what they're doing, they're standing in the middle of a crowd for hours at a time. They're walking through the crowds, they're out there. It's a lot different than being in a vehicle and escorting people, that you don't have to be out there breathing around them.
I mean, the state lifted all of their mandate. I mean, the Superdome's packed every weekend. You know, I mean, it's people, I mean, this is totally nonsense for them to say this is COVID. If you say we canceled it because of COVID and now we would like to have it and we just don't have the time to get the team together, that's a little more legit. To say we're still canceling it because of COVID is nonsense. I mean, I just feel the police chief, Tim Walker's not here. I don't want to beat him up. He stepped away. For what? I don't know. But this is nonsense. There's something motive driving this behind this whole thing. I'd love to know what. I'd love for the citizens to know what. But I just think it's really going south.
Councilman,
It seems like we're
there's
just
no
taking,
grassy knoll here.
We're
It
taking,
really
we're taking
is
Santa Claus from the kids
what we're
to
saying
drive
it
down
is.
Jefferson Highway and wave to the kids. You just took it away. I mean, I just don't understand it. I just totally blows my mind. And it's total nonsense.
I don't think that's hard to do.
It's the worst thing I've
but
ever done.
I will tell you, there's no grassy knoll. It really is what we're saying it is. And what I can't understand is why, when we're saying it's a public safety aspect, where we're trying to protect our guys, why do you not want to hear that?
I see you guys on the streets every day without masks
Sure.
and everything else.
Our guys are out there putting their life on the line every day. That's what they have to do. And there's a difference between necessary surgery and elective surgery.
Did y'all ask any of the officers if they wanted to participate in this, if it was available to be held?
We asked them if they wanted to participate in Halloween.
I asked about the parade.
wait,
Did you ask
wait.
them if they would want to participate if the parade could be held?
No, and you know why? Because our decision on this is based on what's best for the department administratively. We have to protect our ability to put people on the street. We're not gonna, I'm not gonna ask a guy, are you willing to go in that building with a guy with a gun? I know he's gonna go in there. And if I ask these guys, they'll go out there and they'll work that street. They will. If I ask them to do it, they'll do it. If Chief Walker asks them to do it, they will do it. They will put themselves in harm's way. And I ask them to do that every day. I ask them to stop people with guns. I ask them to stop people that are doing really bad things, people that want to hurt them. We ask that of them every day. But there's a difference between asking them to do things that they have to do and things that are elective. They don't have to do this parade. Would they do it if we asked them? 1,000%. Those guys would run into a burning building just like these firemen. What I'm not going to do is set a building on fire and then tell them they have to go in. Because that's the equivalent of what you're asking me to ask them.
Totally disagree.
Well, you can. I don't understand what the motivation is being angry about this.
I have a genuine question. Who issues parade permits in the city? The mayor?
The mayor, I believe.
Okay.
Scott?
The police department's job is to provide security and safety for the citizens of Harahan.
Right, so-
If we throw a parade, the police department should say, okay, we're gonna work the parade, do what we need to do, it's gonna cost X amount of dollars.
And we did. We did when you did it earlier this year. Enthusiastic.
So if we say we throwing a parade on December 11th, you're saying you're not providing officers? The chief already said it. I don't need you to repeat it. The chief already told me, I'm not providing officers. I'm not authorizing any other officers to come into my city.
Now I think I realize what's going on. That's no problem. Okay.
I told the chief this last night, if you could truly give me and this is Kerry, I'm not speaking for nobody else here. If you could give me a truly justifiable reason, I would be there. I don't understand how we're gonna select and throw the COVID card out. I agree 100%. I think there's some other motives behind this because I don't understand how we can have it, but then we can't. We can have it, but we can't. So if it benefits this one, oh, it's good. But when we wanna do something that, I mean, this is the one, last year we missed it. It's time to get back. Vaccination rates are up, cases are low. I mean, I was more shocked that we did the parade in May than I'd be more like, oh, it's fine now, it's better, but it went off with a hitch. It wasn't a super spreader. People, from what I hear, had a great time. I just don't understand it. I really don't.
It was before Delta variant, first of all. What
COVID is
happened?
COVID. The variant is just another strand of it, just like the flu. You could probably have 50 strands of the flu. They're just calling it something else.
Okay.
I don't remember
Maybe it's
much.
time now to explain the science behind it. Because the Delta variant is highly virulent compared to the first COVID, SARS, that came up. Delta has been highly virulent. We got hit in a way that we didn't in 2020. We got hit in 2020. In 2021, starting in about June, July, and August of this year, it ran through the department. We were pulling detectives. We were working the street 18 hours a day. We were shorthanded, and we were pulling people from other ships. We always had people on the street. That's something that we didn't see last year. And it's not something we want to go through again. And so if our guys get sick because they're out there working the street or they're doing something with family, nothing we can do for
Okay,
that.
you don't want to expose your guys. Then why wouldn't the chief let another agency come in and let us put this on?
You'd have to talk to the chief.
Well, we have, and you know, he just talks in circles. He doesn't really give us anything, but no, that's what we got. So I just want to let the public know, because we've got it inundated with emails and phone calls of like, are we doing it? Why aren't we doing it? And I just want people to know we have tried to do our best to exhaust every avenue that we can possibly think of that's in our control to make this happen.
Interesting. This is, and has been, a police department event. And we've gotten about 3 phone calls, and when we explain to people why it isn't happening, everyone's been understanding, thinks it makes sense. So if you have anybody that's calling you that would like a direct explanation.
Oh, believe me, I'm sending them y'all's way.
Send them. Send them.
I just don't understand why we can't have it, but.
Aren't you ready to move on?
I just hope Santa Claus don't get COVID and he still comes to my house.
All right, Councilman Asbill,
Thank you.
you got a report, Councilman Asbill?
Yeah, brief one. Thank you guys for allowing me to do the presentation tonight for No Limits Play. I should have mentioned www.nolimitsplay.org for more information on the playground and how you can help out when it's time. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and I'm really looking forward to a parade permit for the Christmas parade. I'm sure if it's issued, the police will be there to help protect the city. So thank you.
Councilman Buddy?
I'd like to just wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and that's it. Thank you.
Councilman Chatelain?
Same thing. Wish everybody happy Thanksgiving. Look forward to seeing y'all through the holidays.
Yep. Councilman Johnson?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Councilman Wheeler? Before I just say happy Thanksgiving. 'cause
Happy
that's all-
Thanksgiving, I'm sorry.
That's all I'm going to say is happy Thanksgiving, but maybe we can, maybe as a council and maybe as citizens, we can come up with an event. Maybe we can have something down, you know, maybe get a breakfast with Santa down at the camp, you know, do something that nature, you know? And, I mean, just thinking. So any citizen input would be incredible. Anybody wants to get aboard and involved, we'd love to have your help, and we can bring something back or try to have something to where, you know, we can get some families involved that would like to continue on some kind of tradition.
Mayor, I think that would be a great idea, but we're still going to need the police for that.
Well, the police can sit in their car at bay across the street, and if anything breaks out, then they can come and act accordingly, I'm sure. But that's it for me. Again, happy Thanksgiving, you guys. Hope we have an amazing Christmas. The city's coming around. Please, you know, help us in any kind of way, help your neighbor. And holidays are here. Make sure you check on your neighbor. Make sure everybody's, you know, it's a weird time of year for people. We just come through 2 hurricanes and COVID. So, you know, check on your neighbors and you know, and that's what we do here in Harahan, right? So we'll figure it out. So that's all I have. Thank you.
St. Brian, I got a phone call. Is the police doing the blue light program around the holidays? Yes?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Madam Clerk, pay the bills.
Pay a bill.
Pay bills. Bills paid in October 2021, total expenditures, $1,658,586.70.
Wow.
They're gonna think we bankrupt.
Wow. I tell you what.
No,
Look, I don't understand. I don't understand how this can be. How do we bring in so little money and have so many bills? Facebook is not going to be happy about this.
Dang. Really?
What is? Oh, did we have a hurricane? Is that a thing? Okay.
Well, you know, if you read it on Facebook, it must be true. All right, Madam Clerk,
Executive session.
there'll be no, okay.
No executive session.
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Wheeler to adjourn. All in favor? 5 yeas, 0 noes. We are adjourned.